Just a few months ago, Ferrari released their first ever SUV, the Purosangue, and today we're going to take a look at the very first one in the UK. So of course, naturally aspirated V12, I think that it's a 6.5 litre, or sorry, 6.3, like the 812 and the LaFerraris and stuff. But I do love the sculpture. It's kind of got this sort of aero bridge, just like the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta, so it does give you a bit of an F12 feel when you're looking at the front of it. Of course, I actually thought these were lights in the original photos, but they are actually air vents that I think are supposed to supply air to the suspension, because obviously everything gets very hot with how heavy this car is and how fast it actually moves. And I think this car does have kind of like a self-leveling suspension system, so the car is designed to stay perfectly flat in any corner that you throw it at. Tons and tons of carbon fiber at the front of this. I do love it. It's a very aggressive looking car. You can almost see as well, I think that's a little bit of red in the paint. Very cool spec. And then look at all these aero features. We've got an air vent going into another vent that may be to cool the brakes, but I'm not 100% sure. And then this big grille at the front that is actually kind of like an 812 shape. Yeah, I love the sheer sculpture in this car. These sort of carbon fiber side fenders. And then at the rear, you've got exactly the same. And you can see the tire through this little aero feature as well. That's probably to reduce air pressure in the wheel well. And again, there's just so much sculpture. These aren't just like kind of bolted on sort of fender guards. They are carbon fiber pieces that serve a purpose. Coming around to the back, of course, you've got a beautiful rear spoiler that really ties this car together. And at the rear, we've got those more sleek, sort of Ferrari Roma style rear lights. And then you can see the full extent and the full scale of the Purosangue. What a car. And we've got a full representation of the Purosangue. And then you've got these kind of like little pod shapes, and they are mirrored on either side of the car. And this is kind of like a passenger zone. So if we were able to click into this, you would probably be able to see things like speed whenever you're driving, but then you can also deal with some of the like multimedia functions, like the soundtrack as it says there. That is properly cool. So that's your view as a passenger if you're getting taken for a drive in this Purosangue. Could you imagine this just being a daily driver? Then we have the engine start-stop. We have the little manettino, as always on Ferraris. Of course, everything's becoming a lot more digitalized. We've got like all the phone calls and stuff, and that's kind of like digital buttons that will light up and illuminate. But wow, this is beautiful. I like that. I really like this view out of the front, because it actually reminds me a lot of the F12 Berlinetta, the view that you get out the front of that. Oh, and I think this means we'll actually have a head-up display right there. You get your speed, of course, you get the revometer in the center, and then you got all these little options that you can select for different driving modes. You get your phone, audio. It's really nice. And then, of course, this is supposed to replicate a gated shifter, but this is just to select all of your gears with the flappy paddle gearbox that you have in these things. Of course, Ferrari, they do these flappy paddles so well. This goes up almost the full side of the wheel. Wow, this is beautiful. You imagine, I could really imagine cruising some continents in this car, and I like that it actually has a very raked front windscreen. It does really give you that kind of supercar feel. I think that people that own cars like the GTC4 Lusso won't feel too out of place in something like this. And then to get out of it, I think we just press, yeah, just that little button. Wow. Yeah, I thought I'd get the exclusive. Oh, this is so cool. Wide opening doors here. This is beautiful. Then you got a full panoramic roof. I think this is one of the ones that actually you hit a little button and then it can become completely transparent. This is awesome though. The proportions of this car, I thought it was like DBX size, but it's actually a lot smaller. We'll get out in a second and I'll show you. But this is the brand new Ferrari Purosangue. Wow. Got your little center console bits. So yeah, this definitely isn't a 5-seater. What do we got here? Got a little place to charge your phone in there. Got these lovely individual seats. Little air vents, some beautiful carbon fiber around there. A little bit of storage. Wow. This is much more beautiful than I thought it was, and it's so easy to get in and out of. That is a properly cool view. Little handles there. Yeah, and then here you can see those seats in really good detail. Kind of like a Daytona style actually here. Okay, we get the passenger view. Purosangue there. We have the Ferrari key. These keys are so nice these days. And then the leather there, I think, matches the color of the leather in the car. This kind of like nice dark brown. And you got Purosangue there. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one, guys.